Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye. We're gonna go ahead and get started. It's BFA, the open discussion about the occult and the magicians and spiritual crimes against humanity, all that stuff that we usually talk about. Now, I mean, a lot comes in to like a mind's eye, but you really can't get like anything like gone or done or like a goodbye or anything like that. There's something about defending, something about looking in that really came in. And when you actually come in and you go to it, you can't actually see it. So when you actually can't see it, is it occulted? And then you hear it's obstrued. So the word obstrued actually comes in and you go, I can't even believe like how hard it was to like get a gone in and out. So when you get a gone in and out and you say you can't even do this whatsoever. So when I look at it and I go, you can't even see the payout all the way down to the whole shebang. So when I look at it and I go, no, there's no forceful or like opposing views of the ego when it comes to like obstrued or obstructed or occulted or obscurity. It you can't even believe how hard it was. Like the type of like how it interferes. So here it is an example. You're driving along and you're sitting down in your car. And when you're sitting down in your car and you can't even do. When you can't even do, you can't even sew. And you can't even boo. And like you're just like there in your car and you're just like all of a sudden there's like no treasure. And we just don't understand like where the bank is. And like you're trying to get to the bank. That is obscurity, like a visual disturbance down to all senses where you can't even do. Now, when you do this, I go, oh man, there's no messages coming in on through. But when I see this and I see community and I see saying, ha, I see like Santeria, and I go, oh my God, you can't even do. Can't even do. The will and the wisdom of none, of nothing comes in through. So, how does that actually make sense? Now, when I actually look at it and I go, there's no but of the joke down to the line of the drive, those are the words that come out. And that's why it's really hard to get it out today. So, with that being said, sometimes we just have those days and we just can't even do. Now, when we actually go through it, I can't even like lure you, but actually you can sue. You can sue and you can't BUE. So then it goes into a mob referee. When he goes to the mob referee, you go, oh my God, I can't even go there. But really, it's nostalgia. It really comes in like hard. There's a lack of inheritance. There's a lack of knowing. There's a lack of being. And you can't even do. So when you go this, they're like, they must be doing do again. I can't even sue you. So as we watch the news, former special counsel Jack Smith defends his decision to prosecute and press charges. Technically, he does not press charges. He puts on through. He's a prosecutor. So who actually pressed charges? Because only law enforcement can push the button and say domestic dispute and all of it. So I'm not actually defending him, but it is the question at the table with the committee. Why did he press charges? And that's all you need to know. Now, when I look at it, I go, there's like a form of trickery of like no logic. And you go, no, you can't even be, because you can't even slide to the eye, and I can't even go, and I can't even sew. And you go, oh, the lack of the start. It was supposed to be like relevant. It was supposed to be pertinent. It was supposed to be like lamenting. It was supposed to be crying, this whole shebang. And when I go, yep, that's the cat. It's the cat's meow. It's gold dust all on a like the cupcake and all of those are the things that drive witches and warlocks and those nuances all on a butt of a joke. So when you actually go and you are looking at someone, say you're Wiccan, and you're doing the rule of three, which means do no harm, and you really don't do anything unless you're defending the innocent, which is up to animals, elderly, and children because they cannot defend themselves. and you put forward a devil's advocate, and mind you, devil's advocate is illegal in the United States. It's a form of gambling and gaining on the innocent unbeknownst to them, which can lead to life in prison to death penalty, depending on what state you are. So when I see it, the monetary balance comes in, and they're looking at fraud, they're looking at scandal, they're looking at toxic energy, feminine energy, but it could be a man, because there's still a struggle of getting up in the morning. So when you give this emotional offer, like the Knight of Cups comes in through, and you go, there's like grandiose of all. I go, I can't even believe it at all. Happy, grandiose thoughts, alleviation of difficulty. So, are they doing the Pledge of Allegiance right now? Okay, so they're doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, there's something dictated, so I can see that the Pledge of Allegiance. They're doing a third session. Yeah, I said it looked like they would do a third session today. There's no deal on the table, but nobody can spell deal, and like, this is what we're talking about in the schools. We're talking about how like nobody can spell, but Connecticut and multiple other states have a perfect record, a perfect record. But New Jersey, their teachers cannot even take an aptitude test. So when you see it, you go, "Oh my God, you couldn't even see it." But when you do the lay of the bay of the stay, is it like in law enforcement? Is it in military? Are you at the beach? Are you like, I hate for like, as they would say, it's this derogatory. Are they bae? You know what I mean? BAE. But nobody can spell bae anymore because it's a hate crime per se. So when I look at it, I say there's a victory, no Valkyrie. When I see there is something of an aptitude of a working of one's known, of misogyny coming in on through, it really has to look at Maduro, but that's a higher end scale. I couldn't even sue. So when I look at it and I go, oh my gosh, the high priestess in reverse, I couldn't even do. And when I look at it and I go, holy cow, you can't even hold on. Again, the Ten of Pentacles. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Just on continuing education, refreshing your memory. How much? So we're going to refresh some memories today on basics. So when you do magician work or you're doing witchcraft, you must know your basic of skill. And when you do your basic of skill, you must sit and you must have your intuition and your instinct and up to your psychic ability to sit and have insight and prudency, consistency, and observancy. So when we look at it and you go, there's no consistency, I shouldn't do it, because properties of physics called inertia will come in down the barrel of the chute. And then literally you go, you use the wrong, like sandalwood, you use the wrong anything, and now everyone's got diarrhea. So then you have to measure if it's criminal intent. So then they get upset because coven law comes in. Coven law is only, they would say 9, but really it's 24 amendments rights when you go to it, because it still falls into universal laws of 12. And you boil it in, there's about 32 to 36. I don't know why there's more. It's pretty solidified, set in stone. So we have 32, and you literally nail it, because you can go anywhere in the world and say, that's against the law. When you practice that, when you see it and you see trust the wave you come in and time is not running out, you can't even believe it. But really, when you call in your soul team, your soul tribe, and you're calling in support all of a sudden, you go, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. So when we look at this and you go, none of this matters, zoom out and common ground. It is true. What is actually common ground right now as we sit with Jack Smith and in the committee and anything else that's going on? It has to do with inheritance. It has to do with heritage. It has to do with probate. It has to do with securement. It has to do with money balance. It has to do with health, welfare, and safety. But what fits the bill? And you go, I think there's something wrong here because they're highly too devoted to something potent. What is the energy and the power of what is potent? One more card out of this one. There's something about boundaries. When you actually practice witchcraft or magician work or anything, and you're looking into spiritual crimes against humanity, and you're looking at all these certain aspects, that you can't actually do it hard enough. Like watching exactly what goes on. And you go, there it is. Now, when you do this, you go, I can't even do it at all. Not at all. Here we go. Here comes the Literary Witches Oracle. Now, something has to be added, and really, it has to do with like an ongoing issue with like health and toxicity. And when you actually see it hard on through, you can't even be it. Now, when you actually go on through and you can't even sue anyone, you go, there's something of like going and gone. So when you actually look and you actually like divulge or like deep dive into it, there's something about the subconscious still. When you see this and you see knife, resolution, conflict, something historical, because they keep talking about the Insurrection Act. So let's actually go back and talk about the Civil War. And when you talk about the Civil War, you go, can't even see this coming whatsoever. And hedgehog. You might as well go on through. Now, when I look at it and I go, it has to do with family. Absolutely, absolutely. Heritage, generational curses. Curses. What is that? There's something about grotesque humor. Grotesque humor. Now, when we actually pull out this whole Legland and we go, can't even see. You go to power, appearances, society, keeping up with the Joneses, mastery, strength. It's just perspectives. It's political. How is political like tied in to where it is supposed to go? It's not about being fired up and lit. It's okay. So you have your burn barrel and you have your croft. And when you have your croft, it usually is cast iron. And the reason why you got to have cast iron is because it will hold and retain other media. So when you have incense and you have like wood shavings and you have maybe flowers or petals and you're burning it, what is the chemical property in all of it? Like it's like coming on through like hard. There's something about toxic masculinity of old wounds, old wounds. When I look at it and I see Cauldron and Insurrection Act, like how are you going to do that without the Riot Act first? Rebellion. There's really nothing wrong with agriculture. There's really nothing wrong with import. There's really nothing wrong that we would have to have the Riot Act or the Insurrection Act. So when I look at this is dark. So let's actually go a little bit more towards the occult. When you have to, there's something about foregoing plans still that keeps coming through. And they're like, I just don't understand why we would like forego plans. Maybe it's intuition and instinct. Why would a witch or a magician or any of those ranks forego their plans? It was in their eyes. So when you see it and you go, not at all. Not at all. Now, when you do this and you go, you can't even sue anyone and you can't even be it anymore. And you go, Just like get rid of it right now, the cigarettes. Because it's coming right on through. I heard it. Oh my God, we got e-cigarettes, we got the vapes. I mean, the concocting was odd. But when we have that and we have golden egg, you go, done, knocked out. Now, when we do this and I say, no, 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 we do. Something about mouse. And where are we getting out of this? This is hard. Did somebody actually maybe put a charm or an enchantment or anything of that matter so words couldn't get out today? Maybe. Those are all the things. So, all right, we're going to solve that. And this is what it's like trying to do a draw out. Now, when I see frog, vulture, and mouse, and I see raccoon, it really, what you would say, depending on how it is, it's not a spiritual enema. But basically, what you got to do is a clearing and cleansing and attuning, because you don't know after that cord cutting what actually got backed up in you. Now, as I'm looking at this, I say, are they aligned and attuned? And are they actually going on through? So when you look at it, you go, holy cow. There's something about service and like it's in the stars. Like it's like aligned in the stars. And this is how they all start going to serve. And they can't get it out. This is true. This is something happened. And we can't get it out. And we're a little absurd what actually came in through in the last 24 hours. Here we go. There's something on how this like timeline jump came in. When you look at this card, it's like vibration and like frequency and hertz. It just like erupted. You couldn't even believe it. Now, when you look at it, universal knowledge, and you see imagination, you go, am I dreaming? It all came in. I believe in my dreams. That's good that you believe in your dreams. But how did it come out? Now, there's something about that transmission that came in through. Something that was heard that they're all together about. When you see this and you see energy work and you see portal, something about opening a door. And you go this and you go the enlightened gut, something about food. So now we're going down to our diet. So here you are, you're protecting the innocent and you're following the law. You're upholding the law. But you don't have a badge that you're an officer. So how do you do that? How do you show that you're still in compliance? But you're not like in compliance, you know what I mean? Because compliance would actually mean it was a game. Now, when I look at this and I see going about, you go on two, and you go on two, and you go on through. Something about like a curse upon the earth. I mean, it's just finding scandals. It's a curse upon the earth. They can't get anything done about this. They're absurd of this. My God. Hi there. I'm well. How are you? Here we go. There's something at nighttime. There's something about a cutaway. Something about a hidden game that we all hate. That type of trolling. And when you do this, you go, there it is. It came on through. For me, also, torch. I'd have to say something was not really educated in the public on why they banned the e-cigarettes to the vaping. And it had to do with severe physical health issues, to ulcers, to GI issues, to high obscurities of the senses, that it caused a lot of havoc with just going to the drugstore. And they go, you're going to the drugstore? I knew it. And you're like, are you sure you're not going to the bank? You go, I'm thinking about some fictional characters like superheroes for get funding for their operations. So, I mean, as I see as a psychic, I would have to say there's something about the number 4 that keeps coming in for many people. So I'd say like 4 fictional characters. I see more masculine. And when I see the masculine, there's something about paper. It's kind of like Superman, but it isn't. It is like Spider-Man, but it isn't. It's more like Lord of the Rings. So when I look at it and I go, there's something of strength, there's something of a freeze all of a sudden. It's like creative ideas are coming out all of a sudden. This is what it's like when you are a magician and you're trying to get it out, like something's going on. Okay, so what got me into occult? So I started knowing about the occult and studying the occult, not really practicing the occult, and it was growing up around the Irish mob here in Connecticut, where you couldn't get a done on anything. So when you sit there and you're like, you got to be creative on getting out of the house today because you're going to be truant and you got to go and you don't want to go to juvenile detention because you got strep throat again, you go, there's something about instinct. Instinct. So when they do their tricks to do, there's something faded. Instinct faded, going back to the e-cigarettes, occulted, anything like that. There's something about fending and defending into the probes that we all need to know about. So when it's occulted, it's hard lock, and you're not to know who holds the lock. When it's like a game of like Trivial Pursuit. When it comes in and it flows through, like anyone who's like maybe sensitive to cigarette smoke or anything like that, and they sit there like, I just can't be around you because I just can't see well. I can't, like my senses are like blocked. So, hi there. There's something about a gift, like they give a gift, and you're like, yep, I got the gift of the cold. Thank you. Comes in strong. What is annoying us this week? It goes defensive, but really as it goes on through. So this is just from last week coming in on through. And here we are, we're watching Jack Smith. And you go, joy. And you go, there's something about this like warrior, trolling, again, trolling also. Like giving a gift, torque, like a torque wrench. Probe, torque wrench. It's like, I feel like this is like a little bit of an issue. When you look at this, you go, oh my God, they got. When you actually look at it, it's like, is it pertinent or not? For you to know. So usually when the affiliates or the kings or the cartel say, is it pertinent? You go, something is going to pop off. And whatever they were running, they found it and they're going to do. So when I see it and I go, havoc, and you can like watch how all these things like play out, because you can watch Netflix, anything about mob or mafia, and confirm. Have you ever experienced contact or presence that felt intelligent but not identifiable? Something that didn't fit any known spirit archetype or tradition, or so. How do you even categorize that kind of stuff? Okay, so I've had earthbound spirits. I've had what they would call like afterlives. They all mean something depending on how that soul is. Even up to cocaine addicts ghosting in my house. Everyone thinks they're dead, but they're not. That's what I usually say. So when I look at it and I go, like they're intelligent, and they're not. It really is. So how do you actually identify if it is a ghost, an entity, earthbound spirit? Is it intelligent? I've had that, and that's why I'm asking. Okay, so how do you know it's actual like person who is criminal? It is like ongoing, and you can't get it done. So you're having fights in the house. You're having like upteen bills. Like it just keeps piling on. Now, an entity is just like the energy of the spirit. They're usually deceased. They usually have moved on to the afterlife. So that's like someone who has passed away in your life. And when they do that, they go, like they've moved on. You can tell that your loved one moved on peacefully. Then it goes to actual earthbound spirit, like they're cursed to live upon the land and cause disrupt. And when they do that, all the things I've experienced is always disrupt on an earthbound spirit. It comes in like seasons, and it comes in once in a while, and you're like, no, that's like Fred or Sam or someone. And I like, we finally got it out after a paranormal investigation. Now, when it's that, law enforcement will hear it, and they'll hear the upkick of the uptick in the house, and they'll see how it like pattern of how you fell on through. So then that's when they put it into play. So they're like, do you have like home surveillance, or do you have like you can put something here, or how are you knowing it's testing? And then they start listening out in the public of like patterns of behavior of illegal substance users. So there's something about it also, like we were talking about the Insurrection Act, on how it comes in about heritage, culture, and state. And it's like civil war, but it's really not a civil war because it's ongoing. Did they ever close the civil war? These are the questions that are like asking. When you see wealth and you see like collecting Hera, it comes in hard and through. Now, when it comes like to it, and you see like Burkhan, there's something about like going on and writing about like and continuing on this issue. So that's where we are today. Like, why is this issue continuing? Because you just can't get like a done on it. So with that being said, when it comes to heritage and culture, you might actually get dinged in the South, depending on what you do, because they'll see somebody do something, and you might be like sitting on a bench or eating lunch, and all of a sudden you've got bad luck because you weren't supposed to do that. And I once had a weird experience in where I didn't see or hear anything, but I felt a presence. Not internal and not emotional, not imagination. Yeah, so you can tell when it's your imagination. More like something aware, not just observing, no messages, no images, no symbology, just very clear of otherness. It's almost like the how Appalachian witches are, or Appalachian lore, LORE, or like folklore, where when that happens, you have this close the windows and blinds, don't answer to your name if you hear it in the wind. I'd experience like keep to a routine, take care if you're sick, and they want you to go about usually. So what would you think it kind of is? It's more like lore, and lore is like type of trolling. I don't know why I see money with you. So money down to the dollar bill, down to nickel and diamond, down to no can do. So then you can't do canned goods. That's the type of trolling. So then you have to say like what's actually in the community and how many other people are experiencing it. And that's where law enforcement gets involved. Alrighty. Here we go. Lightseers Tarot. What do we need to know? Something about confidentiality. When it comes to confidentiality, you go, there's something of a turning point and a walk away, an incomplete cycle that we're talking about here, even in the conversations. There's something all of a sudden like you can't communicate, or people don't communicate with you. You feel a little isolated. It's not universal precautions. Some people actually like have anxiety and depression, seasonal depression to it, like a degree, and then it feels a little counterintuitive, and everyone asks like, why did you do that? So those are the things that are coming through. So like harsh, sharp endings in people's life. There's something about setting well also, masculine energy. It has to do with the moon cycles, like new moon, full moon, to like anything of that matter and nature. Now, I'd have to say, let's look through the crystal quartz. Kind of like crystal ball. Again, foreknowing. There's something about in the United States about foreknowing where it boils down to every household, and it's annoying. It has to be about taxes. Taxes and tariffs. Foreknowing. I feel like they're trying to get out, like, who knew about these like frauds and these scandals to where we have like new tax brackets. I mean, they knew that there's something about this. There's something about a wedding. There's something about a funeral. This is like totally mom. Wedding, funeral, and a divorce. There's somebody with like rat with slew. So when you see it and you go, there's the Queen of Spades right there, down to the clubs. Who was doing it well somewhere out in the club where everyone is affected by this. Here we go. Something like Starry, Starry Night, and then you go and you're like, this is not Josh Groban. You see where it goes, and then you see agriculture. Who was singing in the night sky in the Civil War, like croning to crone, like croning, the old crone, like the old maid, down to the cats sitting, like burning their incense, waiting for the pop off. Because the ship has sailed. So, like, it's bringing me a little bit to maritime law. What do we need to know about, like, the occult and all this, and like maritime law? So about getting lost, and like that came in like really easy, getting lost. All right, let's do black obsidian rooms. When you see this and you go, there's something about like eligible defensiveness. I feel like it's agency. It's like if you apply for assistance. I feel like it's something like you were not supposed to experience this. It's definitely fate. You're going to meet people who you probably wouldn't have met in any other time. It's about instinct. Something about like ongoing instinct. Reminds me out here about the North State Hospital and the fire. Paperwork. There's something about paperwork. You can't get those records because they're locked. They're high end lawsuits. The human rights violations. Hidden game. Living. There's something about like towards something again like the evil eye, like the other psychics and other mediums are really talking about warding off and watching the evil eye. When I see this, I see like hard, like perfected in the bakeries. Joy, solid. Joy, solid. Witness that fact I hear as a psychic. Clairaudience. Now, when I actually do this, I see like bitters. I hear sweets to Swisher sweets, and then I go, you can't actually do 4, but you can do none and NUN. And you go, no, do the done, because it's all done. So what I'm doing is I usually do all the runes, but I'm not because it's like the energy of these runes are like, just put it away. Because the poplar wood was more than enough. Okay. Making decisions when you're actually encountering it. What is tangible? What is reality? What can you look at the piece of paper? Look at the piece of paper. Look at the date and what does it do? When you see this and you go, there's something about marriages and like partnerships. There's something of like no victory. When you see this, you see the Hanged Man. And you see the 2 of Wands. There's something about a pause. Something about like foreseeing it. There's something about no tangible like proof of like reasonable doubt to innocence. I feel like if you watch the news, it's gonna come right out. Then like emotional offerings, like I'm so sorry, but I couldn't even get out and like help you because I was stuck in my own detriment. When you see it come in really, really strong, and when I look at it and I go, 4 of Pentacles, unsecurements to like at rest. And that's what it really wants us to know. So coming forward to the week, there's something of like 2 tangible occurrences in what I see in big media. Now, when I see big media and I'm going down to local, then it feels like 7 to 8 news segments. when you go about your day, like you're trying to get like everything again. So you got more bills, then you have to get it all together so you can fit it into your budget. When I see this, the Seven of Cups to the Eight of Swords to the Page of Wands reverse, there's something of like North Star to like a falcon down to nothing of like rigs or anything of that to the anchoring. But they're like, watch New York City. Watch New York City in the next week and see how it plays and pans out, because you just don't know. So with that being said, that's all we have for today. Any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share. It's greatly appreciated, and we will talk to you soon.